can't steal my happy, even though you try. You can't steal my happy, you can't take away my high.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of You Can't Steal My Happy. And again, this is a podcast for people that aren't done exploring, even in their fourth quarter of their lives. I'm Brad Richardson.
Happy Rob's here.
Happy Rob Hearn.
And we're two happy dudes.
That's right. Very happy dudes.
Yeah, it's getting better with every episode.
We're going to have to practice on that.
So
Today we've got our first guest speaker, who Rob will introduce shortly. We've got some very, very funny stories for you. And then obviously our happy ending segment, which speaks to, what was the meaning out of all this. So, Rob, why don't you make the intro for
I gotta
our
say,
special guest?
This is really a cool, a story. This is my ultimate story that I try telling, and it's never as good as Jetlag, who is our guest today. I met this character on my very first You Can't Steal My Happy trip, and that was in Thailand.
How long ago was that? When was that?
Like 11, 12 years ago. I think it was 11, 12.
Yeah, because I met you 10 years ago. So,
yeah.
Yes.
We haven't officially introduced him yet. You can't
I know.
look at him.
I can look at him.
Yeah. It's tough not to, especially with the shirt he's wearing today.
That's correct.
By the way, I bought him that shirt, and it sounded like his girlfriend. I bought him that shirt in Cartagena, Colombia. I walked past it, and it had these beautiful monkeys. And so today we're actually talking about the famous monkey story that I tell, and it's good. But with this character here telling it, it's an amazing. But again, our first trip was in Thailand. We're in the island of the Phi Phi Islands. So you fly into Phuket. We're there for a few days. And I think we had about a dozen people on my first happy trip. And one of the persons on my list is this guy named Jetlag. And I'll have him tell the story of how he got the name, first of all. And then we'll kind of go into the story of the monkey story and how this all happened. It's the whole signs in the universe and, never try, never know. It's all going to come alive because of our amazing guest, Jetlag. So without further ado, everyone, worldwide debut of Jetlag.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, no pressure.
Make sure you look at his shirt because it's
get the monkeys, man.
Zero in on the monkeys.
Purple monkey.
How you feeling?
Good,
man.
Good.
You're looking good as usual.
Little nervous. First podcast.
It's okay.
Yeah, I have to say, the first time I saw, he looks nothing like what he looks like now. Now, again, you'd look at him, he's like a bouncer. He's going to kick your butt. But when he was just this guy, had this amazing hair. And I mean, he looked like a model, honestly. I was like, God, that guy's on my tour. I'm going to go be successful, man. Having a good looking guy like that. Yeah, he did model, actually. Well, anyway.
That's what made it nerve wracking. Anyway, I'll get to that.
Okay. So tell us, you're on a trip. He works as a flight attendant with a major airline, with the tail with red, white, and blue. But he's on there and he's getting ready. He's going to be getting married in probably 2 or 3 months at that point?
Yeah, around there.
Well, tell us then exactly how you got on the Thailand trip, because you were a last minute entry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea I was going to Thailand, and I had 3 weeks vacation coming up, and Melissa, my fiance at the time, the girl that I did marry,
and are still married to.
Yes. I say to Melissa, I've got 3 weeks vacation coming up. She knew it, and she didn't have that time off. And I told her, I got 3 weeks coming up. I'm not going to stay at home. And she knew that. And I'm just kind of letting her know, you might come home from work and I'll be gone. I'm waiting for my sign from the universe. And with that being said, I had one more trip to work, and it was a 4-day trip. And I knew the girl that I was flying with. And as soon as I get to work, I get on the airplane, I go to the back galley. and Kathy is there, and Kathy's all excited. And Kathy says, when I get off this trip, Diane and I are going to Thailand. And immediately I realized that was my sign. And I said, I want to go. And she says, what? How can you go? Do you have the time off? Do you have the money? How can you just get up and go to Thailand? I explained to her, and Melissa and I know Diane and Kathy very well. And I told Kathy that I explained to Melissa, I'm waiting for my sign from the universe, and I want to go to Thailand.
And that was it.
Yes. And she goes, well, I have to ask Diane, because she met this guy, Robert, online, hadn't physically met you yet in person, but somehow online came in contact with you. And she says, Diane has to ask you, do you have room for one more? And Robert says, yeah, he can come along, but he's got to pay extra because he's one person in one room.
Single supplement.
Think it was $10 extra $100.
My first tour by there, I think it was $420 for 6 days in Thailand.
$550. $650 for me.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh.
Yeah. So I'm paying $650, and I'm like, I couldn't believe it. And I told Kathy to tell Diane, book whatever flights that you guys are on, and I will just pay when I get to the airport. And us three will go to Thailand. So at the airport in Los Angeles, we are having some cocktails before we get on the airplane. And for whatever reason, Diane looks across the table and laughs and says, you should shave your head. And I said, and her and Kathy are laughing. And I said, don't count me out on that, because I've been wanting to do that for like 6 or 7 years. And I was afraid to do it because I had nice blonde hair and people knew me at work as Surfer Dude. They might not have known my name, but they knew me. Oh, that Surfer Dude. Oh, yeah, I know him. So that being said,
hey,
Diane.
Real quick here, not to interrupt. Everyone, take a look. If you're on YouTube, you can obviously see this. I want everyone to see what he looked like before, so we get a visual of what this guy and what he obviously looks like now, in which he still looks handsome, beautiful. There he is.
Where's
right there.
The other one with the crazy.
Look at this.
Grand Canyon.
Look, I only put 2 in there, man.
Only those 2?
Yeah, but I mean, that gives you an idea of it. The guy's he's a stud. And again, I saw him and like, God, that guy's good looking. I'm like, you're still a great looking guy. Okay. Anyway, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
So, Diane threw that out there. Oh, you should shave your head, laughed, kind of joking. I don't know. So fast forward to Koh Phi Phi, Thailand. Robert rents a sailboat, and there were 19 of us on this trip. And Robert rents a sailboat. We're going to go to Monkey Island, and the crew had to brief us before we took off. There were 3 crew members, and the crew tells us 3 things. First, be careful when you approach every monkey, because some of them don't want to be petted. They can be aggressive. Be careful. Number 2, there's nothing on the island but monkeys. There's no restaurants, no bathrooms, nothing. So whatever you need, bring it with you. Number 3, anything you want to bring back from Monkey Island, don't take to Monkey Island, meaning the monkeys will steal whatever you bring. If you bring a backpack, they will unzip it and they'll take what they want. Just be careful.
And I
with your
have to
stuff.
second that, because I chimed in because I'd been there several times, and I said, these aren't the touristy monkeys. These monkeys, they're in a tourist, they give them cigarettes. So they're out there smoking. They're drinking beer. And again, people are taking photos of them, and it's actually kind of horrible, but it is, you can go online and just Google Monkey Island, Thailand. You can see these monkeys, and they're not nice monkeys. If you don't want to piss them off. Back to you.
So we go to Monkey Island. We're petting the monkeys, playing with the monkeys. There's other people from other boats. Everybody's there to do the same thing, to see the monkeys. And after a while of playing with the monkeys, I tell Robert, I said, I'm going to take a walk up the beach, get a little exercise. And I walked way up the beach. And I walked so far, the beach curved. I was at the end of that part of the island,
So
and
you
I
were out of
lost
sight.
Yeah. And when I realized I was out of sight, I turned around and started walking back because, I don't know what can happen out there. So
Well, you kind of did.
Okay, so real quick here, because then this is where it gets kind of, I'm on monkey, and I'm kind of doing my own thing. I see these group of 4 guys. I don't know if they were from Sweden or somewhere, but they're like, monkey, the monkey, and they're screaming. There's a pack of monkeys that are chasing these guys into the water. And they've got blood marks, they've got scratches and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm out there, I'm like, am I next? And I kind of just backed off, but the monkeys could care less about me. They wanted these guys for whatever reason. And so they're like, the guys are looking at me and they're saying, the monkeys, they stole. And I'm like, well, yeah, no doubt they steal. He goes, but they took our weed. I'm like, they took your weed? He goes, yeah, they took our bag of weed and we throw stuff at them. And now they're mad. It was 2 monkeys. Now there's 10 monkeys. So they're all bloodied up. And I'm like, well, if I find your bag, I'll come back and give it to you. And they said, no, the monkey took it. It's dirty. We don't want it. You can keep it. So that's the little backstory. Now, go ahead, Jetlag.
And this is what I didn't see.
He never saw this.
What I did see was up ahead, I saw a monkey sitting on the beach facing out towards the water. And all of you guys were way beyond the monkey. So now I'm thinking to myself, here we go. I got to be careful when I approach this monkey, because if I get attacked, you guys aren't going to be there to help me. So I go up to the monkey and I put my hand out like you would a dog. And
to sniff and touch or whatever. Yeah.
And the monkey looks at my hand, he looks up at me, and that was it. So I was like, all right, this monkey seems to be okay. And I touched the monkey on the head, and the monkey turns and looks at me, and it's got those big brown beady eyes, and it's the type of monkey it looks like they have white makeup around its eyes. And now I'm just thinking, here I am on a beach in Thailand a few days ago. I didn't know I was going to be here, and I am just ecstatic. So I start petting the monkey, and it just kept getting better for me. And I noticed the monkey is holding a baggie, and it would take something out of the baggie and put it in its mouth. I'm petting the monkey, and I'm just thinking how happy I am, how fortunate I am to be here, just randomly. And
with nature.
Yes. And after a while of petting the monkey's head, I start thinking, what are we going to do tonight? Oh, the same thing we do every night in Thailand. We start the night by going and getting an $8 massage. And I had knots on both sides of my shoulders that these Asian ladies could hone in on those knots. And they were very good about feeling the knots and getting rid of them. So now I'm more excited. Yeah, I'm going to get a massage tonight. Then I start thinking, this is a monkey, and they swing through the trees. They're using their arms probably all the time. And it's like, I wonder if they get knots in their shoulders. So I put my hands on the monkey's shoulders to see what it would do. And the monkey turns around, looks at me, takes something out of the baggie, puts it in its mouth. It's like, this monkey's cool. He doesn't care.
You're giving the monkey a massage.
Well, I give it a little tug. The monkey's okay with that. And it's like, now I'm more excited. It's like, nobody's going to believe this. Just me and this monkey giving it a massage. They're going to think this is BS.
And he's got a bag of weed. Did you know it was weed?
No.
Okay.
So after a few minutes of the massage, the monkey stands up, turns around, and is just looking at me, holding the baggie, just looking at me. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, thank you for this moment. that was awesome. The monkey just placed the monkey right on my bare feet and ran off into the trees.
The weed.
I didn't know it was weed.
Yeah.
Oh, just put the baggie there.
I thought it was food. So he placed the baggie on my feet, runs off. And again, I'm so ecstatic. And I was like, well, what's in the bag? I pick it up. It's a bag of weed. Now I went from ecstatic to pissed off that I know this happened. It just happened to me and nobody's going to believe it because this sounds like the biggest bunch. Just sounds like a crock and nobody's going to believe it. So I'm a little upset. And now what I want to do is I want to go right back to the boat with the baggie and give it to the crew and they can do with it whatever they want. So
did you show it to Robert first?
No. You
didn't know about the story about
I found somebody
Swedish or whatever they were getting attacked and stealing his
and
weed.
Part of why I was upset was, where does a monkey get a bag of weed? I got to go through the rest of my life not knowing where this monkey got that bag of weed with a story that nobody's going to believe. So I go back to the boat. I get on the boat, and one of the 3 crew members is Australian, and he goes, "Hey, mate," he goes, "where's everybody else at?" And I go, "One of those monkeys just gave me a bag of weed, smoke it." And they just busted out laughing. They weren't expecting
They had the
to
paper
hear that.
roll, so they brought out the actual paper roll. Those guys were prepared, man.
Yes.
They were like, wow.
I might have already known that.
Yeah, I got you.
They were a cool crew. So they start laughing, and then I pull the baggie out, and he goes, "What's that?" I said, "This is the bag of weed." Then they realized that did happen, and they couldn't believe it.
So,
and I said, "Roll this up." I didn't know anybody else on the trip. I only knew Kathy and Diane because this was your first trip, and I didn't know anybody else. I didn't.
No.
I didn't know if they, how they would be with those guys smoking. So he's rolling the joint, and I said, "What's that tattoo say on your foot?" And he says, "Never try, never know." Immediately, I said, "When I get off the boat, I'm going to shave my head." He goes, "What? Where does that come from?" I said, "It's tattooed on your foot." I said, "I know you know what it means. I live by that, but I've never put it into words." I said, "This is a sign from the universe. It'll be okay for me to shave my head because, like I said, I've been wanting to do this for years. And what Diane said in the airport in LA, more signs of the universe making me at ease with shave your head." So he understood it. So these guys are smoking, and we hear this noise, and we turn, and here comes the other 18.
Like they smelled it. Like, what is that?
They get on the boat, and I said, "You guys are not going to believe this, but one of those monkeys gave me that bag of weed." And somebody yells out, "Oh my God, we saw that monkey attack these guys." And they witnessed the 5 guys chasing the monkey up the beach. And again, I hadn't seen any of this. This is all news to me, and I'm happy now that I know where this monkey
backstory.
got that bag of weed. So I said, I met that monkey, and I was giving it a massage up the beach. And there it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, that guy, that was me who saw the guys. And so when you said, I'm like, oh my God, I thought, you found the bag of weed. Well, it's a miracle. It's incredible. But then I think I said, like, a few minutes, we were all like just laughing about the story. But then I kind of looked at you, and we look somewhat similar, but I had shaved my head a couple of years earlier in Bali. And I looked at you and I said, "Man," I said, "you got a great head." And it's not something that I just met you. Like, it's been like 48 hours, but that was kind of like intimate, I know. But I'm like, "Hey, you've got you got a great head. You ought to just, shave it when you get back. So that was the thing. You just looked at me and goes, I'm doing it when I get off the boat.
Part of the reason I was nervous to shave my head was I had a friend that told me at Burning Man, because we had a camp member that went on a walkabout at Burning Man. He comes back with his head shaved, and it's all painted like Tron, the design.
Oh.
And he had a great head, and I was like, God, I'd like to do that.
But the other thing is you were getting married.
Yes. And well, yeah. And I knew if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have time to grow back. And Melissa wasn't with me. So, but this girl told me, don't shave your head. You have a funny shaped head. So I'm like, that really scarred me. And I had Melissa looking through my head at different times, looking for any scars or moles or anything I didn't want showing. And
We got back, and the first thing we saw was what? We got off that boat.
Well, let's back up. I told Diane, I said, and that guy, the Australian guy, had long blonde hair. And I said, look at his foot. Look at the tattoo on his foot. And of course she says, what's it say? And it says, never try, never know. And right then I told you and everybody, said, when we get off the boat tonight, I'm going to shave my head. I've got the confidence to do it. Signs from the universe. I'm going to shave my head. So we get back to Koh Phi Phi, which is a little bit bigger than a village, not a big town or anything like that. We get off the dock, turn to the right, and it's nighttime. And somebody yells out, there's a barber shop. And I thought they were joking. And then I look, I see an actual barber pole, one of the old school barber poles that's spinning.
So this is getting even more ironic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, there's a old school barber pole. And then I'm thinking they're not going to be open. Small village. It's nighttime. They're not going to be open. So we get up there. Kathy looks up and it says the marijuana shop, with the exception of maybe one letter.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what it meant, but to us, it said marijuana. That ties in
To the
to
theme
the
of the
monkey
day.
with a bag of weed. So 19 of us go in there. There's 2 Thai ladies in there, and I tell her, shave my head. She says, okay. I sit down, and they're probably wondering why 18 people are standing around watching this guy get a haircut. She gives me a haircut, and she was done. And I said, no, shave it all off. She says, okay. And she starts trimming it up more. And I'm like, she doesn't understand the English. I took the clippers and went right down the middle, and she started screaming. And the lady she was working with is laughing her butt off. And then she realized, oh, I wanted my head shaved off. So we get back to where we were staying, and I had, well, let me back up, because Melissa didn't know yet. And that night I went out with Diane. Diane wants to go out and get a tattoo. And we were the only 2 going out. And I was going with her because you had to walk to the other side of the island, which wasn't real far, but there was a little sketchy area. So I went with her. And we get to where she's going to get her tattoo. And this guy comes out with like 4 catalogs that are like 4 inches thick. And she's going through these catalogs, and I'm
Each
like,
one.
oh my
One by
God.
one.
And we're buzzed because we had been drinking out, on the boat. And I'm looking at her going through these catalogs, and it was like a buzzkill for me. And I told him, are you putting the tattoo on? And he says, yeah. she flips a page and I see this tattoo. I said, that's cool. I said, can you put this on me? And he said, yes. And what intrigued me was they do bamboo needle tattoos.
Oh, you mean like the Samoans or the...
Yeah. That's
Maori.
Maui. Yeah. And
Maori.
And it's a painful procedure,
Yes.
man.
Yeah. So it was 4 hours of pounding this needle in my arm. And I'm thinking, now she's got to wait for me. And Melissa knows that I used to pride myself on no ink because everybody was getting tattoos back then and I didn't have any. And I thought that was unique. But what was unique was the bamboo needle. And I love that tattoo. I'm in Thailand.
Show it, everyone.
Right.
You can. Okay, so you've got. There we go.
It's as far up. It's tribal.
So you obviously tribal, and then below that it says
Never try, never know.
Yeah. So now he's got his head shaved. He's got tattoos. He's getting married in a few months. I kind of want to ask Melissa is actually here. His now wife. Are you there? There you are. Hey, Melissa. She's like, you got to put the microphone closer. There we go. All right, cool. Okay. So you see Jetlag. He returns after a few weeks gone and he walks in the door with tattoos looking like a freaking like WWF fighter. Now, what is your initial reaction?
The funny thing was he did send me a Facebook message or something like that saying I shaved my head and got a tattoo. But then I believe he lost his phone. So I never got a photo.
No, I had sent you the photo, I thought, at first.
No. The first time I ever saw it was live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the marriage is still on.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. It fits his personality.
Yeah.
It's who he is. It was the right thing to do, but it was a shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been, gosh, how many years now?
It's got to be 11 years.
Yeah. You've been married for, you just
10
celebrate.
this year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, one thing that I've always, and again, I've always loved having you on my trips. You're like a brother to me. You know that. But this guy is just, he always surprises me with something. But one of the things that he does on any boat trip is he does these amazing dives off the boat. Do we have clips of that, Michael, that we can show real quick? Check out these dives. I mean, you've actually got skill. Let's see. It's coming up on.
That was the first trip.
Beautiful form. Yeah. That was yep. I mean, great form.
That was Croatia.
Yep.
And
that's Thailand.
Thailand again on a different trip, right?
Yeah. That's the.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into some of the better dives.
Yeah. That's in Greece in front of my kids.
This is the best one.
Oh, my God.
This is the best one.
I love the slow motion, and the guy's just kind of like, what the heck?
The guy's walking by going, what the hell? That's funny.
Yeah.
So I get back to Phoenix, and what was funny was this happened 2 or 3 times. I'm on the moving walkway. I'm going this way, and I see somebody on the other moving walkway going the other way. And I know who they are. They're a friend of mine. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And I would get farther away, and then all of a sudden I would hear, "Oh my God, Patrick, what happened?" Thailand. You know?
That's classic.
One word, Thailand.
Yeah.
Again, some of the things that we've talked about in previous episodes is, the value and beauty of You Can't Steal My Happy trips is that, it is lifestyle shifting, and not to say that, your personality or the way you looked at things shifted, but you definitely transformed yourself.
Absolutely.
And so that's, one of the things that I always am excited about is leaving a trip and going, wow, the things that we did, the places we saw, the people we interacted with. I mean, there's just a gram of transformation in every single trip. So it sounds like you had a pretty massive transformation.
Well, Robert's mom, when Robert was posting some pictures after I shaved my head. She was confusing him and I in the photos. And Robert tells her, Mom, that's not me. That's this guy they call Jetlag. And then Robert told me this, showed me that one photo where we're laying there getting a massage.
Yeah.
And I look at the photo. I think this is the one where she didn't know who was who. And it's like, we look like brothers now.
Yeah.
And I refer to her as Mom.
Yeah.
And I'm one of her other sons.
My mom, Maggie,
So did you
she does not.
You had the goatee.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
But she doesn't. She's always in particular about my friends. I think Jetlag's in the number one, and maybe other two. Everyone else, she just like no. But Jetlag, I like that Jetlag. And Melissa, oh, what a great woman. But real quick here because we got to wrap things up in a minute here. But I remember we had this conversation. By the way, we had the best breakfast this morning. Mr. Chef here. Oh,
Bravo.
He fixed us. Well, tell him what you fixed.
we just had a
Eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedict
So good.
Just
meal. Just an Eggs Benedict meal was
No, it's not.
a little roasted garlic and black beans and blistered tomatoes and some thyme. So it was.
Yeah, it was.
You got to
it's
say,
pretty simple, straightforward.
He's a chef.
Yeah, he's a chef. He's truly.
Yeah,
But
many years ago.
Schooled.
But
I was-
Jetlag and I were talking this morning, and he was telling me something really funny that when he shaved his head, he's a flight attendant. So he'd gone down the aisle before with hair and stuff. And I'm like, what was the difference when you shaved your head? I mean, because now if you're telling me and I'm looking at you and you're like, buckle your seatbelt, I'm like, yes, sir. Before, was it as easy that people would kind of like, yeah, whatever,
No,
get out of here?
they walked all over me because
Yeah.
I was the blonde hair, pretty boy, gay flight attendant. They assume. And
Now he's WW. You better do what I say. Yeah, put your seatbelt. Yes, sir. No problem.
I haven't had any problems.
Sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
that's
there you go. The benefits of travel on a happy trip.
Yeah.
And we actually went to the wedding, by the way, which was incredible. It was the most funkiest wedding I've ever been to. It was like I got invited to this guy's Jetlag wedding, and it was something out of a movie. We don't have time for it, but I'll have to talk about that particular experience because it was an incredible wedding out in the middle of the desert in Arizona with all sorts of stuff. It was like its own little mini Burning Man.
And Rob was one of two people that showed up out of dress code.
Yes, I did.
We're gonna have to have you come back and talk about.
Oh,
I'd love to.
Your years.
Yeah, this has been a
as
blast.
Burning Man security, which is
Oh,
also
God.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
opening
great
up a whole
store.
Yeah,
can of worms
We
there.
want to know more. I think our
That's where
audience
the name
Yeah.
comes from.
Well, let's save it for another episode.
Okay.
Because again, we're
Definitely.
trying to.
We'll,
Yeah,
we're certainly going to invite you back.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
absolutely, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for
It was
being here,
fun.
brother. Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
are my brother.
Yes.
So thanks everybody for joining.
What's the
and-
happy ending? We got to wrap it up. So, what
Well,
would
I
you
think
say?
the happy ending, and from my perspective, was the transformation.
Yeah, well, never try, never know.
That's right. Never try, never know.
There we go.
So take that with yourselves because it is definitely a very simple life mantra that, really says a lot in
And
very few words. So
We should offer this too, Brad. Like, if someone's at home, one of our male audience, if they send us a video shaving their head tonight, we'll send them a happy shirt. What do you think? I mean, you got to actually have hair to begin with. And watch, Brad's going to go home and shave his head so he can get a happy shirt. Anyway, let's wrap it up here, man.
Right.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Love you
So
guys.
thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, it's free. So start following us. We've got a lot more episodes with some really great stories. Don't know if they'll be beaten by what you just heard today, but they're certainly going to be up there. So join us next week.
Don't let anyone steal your happy.
You can't steal my happy, even though you try.